Electronic waste, also known as e-waste, is broken, unwanted, or obsolete electronic equipment and components. Think of anything with a cord or a battery. E-waste is the fastest growing municipal waste stream and is almost 100% recyclable. However, only 20% of e-waste generated is currently being recycled. E-waste represents 2% of America's trash and landfills, but it equals 70% of overall toxic waste. One hard drive from a desktop computer contains enough aluminum to produce 40 new soda cans if recycled. The process of recycling e-waste is not as simple as the recycling of paper, plastic, and cardboard most people are familiar with. There are important issues involved in the process that need to be addressed. Environmental issues. Electronics contain toxic materials: lead, mercury, cadmium, beryllium, flame retardants, and freon. If not properly recycled, these materials can be harmful to the environment, leaching into groundwater, streams, soil, and air. Data security issues. Identity theft is the world's fastest growing crime. Personal information is sold on the black market to be utilized in scams. Hard drives from office copiers can hold up to 40,000 of the previous copies made. Worker health and safety issues. Some workers in underdeveloped countries are exposed to toxins, but issues with health and safety exist here in the U.S. as well. Environmental liability issues. It's becoming a big issue in the corporate world. Businesses and organizations are held financially responsible if their equipment is found improperly recycled. So how exactly are these issues addressed, and what are the recycling processes involved? For that answer, let's take a trip to MRC Recycling.
MRC Recycling.
How we doing? I'm doing good.
MRC is a nationally R2 certified electronic recycling company serving local, regional, and national accounts. We also collect residential e-waste through community recycling events and convenient drop-off locations. Truly anything with a cord or a battery and more can be accepted for recycling.
What is National R2 certification?
R2 certification ensures the proper recycling of e-waste through standards set forth relating to environmental, health, safety, and security aspects of electronics recycling. R2 also requires electronic recyclers to assure more toxic materials are managed safely and responsibly all the way through final disposition. Surveillance audits are performed to ensure MRC is complying with the standard.
How exactly does MRC collect e-waste for recycling?
E-waste is collected by several different methods. First, through pickups for businesses and organizations. MRC sends background-checked, uniformed employees with lettered trucks to remove unwanted or broken electronics. The material is then labeled with the organization's name and date, so the total weight, along with certificate of proper recycling, can be sent after the recycling process is complete. Additionally, through community recycling events, where we set up in a large parking lot for a few hours and allow the general public to drive through and drop unwanted items off. And finally, through residential drop-offs at MRC's locations as well as partnered locations.
So what types of materials can MRC recycle?
MRC recycles anything with a cord or a battery and more. The most common items people think about would be networking equipment, computers, monitors, televisions, microwaves, printers, phones, dishwashers, and all of the consumer-type electronics. More uncommon items people may not think about include lab equipment, such as microscopes, restaurant equipment, medical equipment such as patient beds, monitors, IV poles, defibrillators, dental equipment, and more. We can also recycle vending machines, water fountains, battery backup systems, and robotics equipment. If it runs off electricity, or is a component of something that runs off electricity, we can recycle it.
Now that the electronics have been collected, what's the next step?
The material is taken to MRC's 53,000 square foot warehouse where it's unloaded and the process begins. At this point, MRC's trained crew sort through and segregate incoming electronic material into two categories, reuse and scrap. Electronics that may still have useful life are separated and sent to MRC's reuse facility for evaluation and refurbishment by trained and certified technicians. At that point, the refurbished equipment is put out into the secondary market at extremely discounted rates or donated to schools or nonprofit organizations. R2 certification requires reuse as it is the highest form of recycling. Electronics that are beyond refurbishment or don't have any more useful life are deemed as scrap and recycled responsibly to the R2 standard.
Let's take a look at the process. Here, a computer is taken apart to its component level for recycling. Plastic and steel is taken off and separated. Other components such as the fan, power supply, electronic boards, ribbon wire, and disk drives are taken out and separated for further recycling. Hard drives are separated, serialized, and locked in a sealed lockbox until the data is destroyed per the R2 standard. We will take a look at MRC's process of data destruction a little later. Here, a window air conditioning unit is being recycled. Again, the unit is taken apart to its component levels. Plastic and steel is taken off and separated. Other components such as fans, motors, compressors, wire, and copper tubing are taken off and separated for recycling to the R2 standard. At this point, the Freon is pumped into holding tanks for recycling.
MRC is Freon certified to handle all Freon-containing devices. Our certified Freon technician pumps down the different types of Freon into separate tanks. Model number, as well as the type and amount of Freon recovered, are all documented.
Here, a CRT, or cathode ray tube television, is recycled. The plastic housing is taken off and separated. Next, the electronic board, copper yoke, and wire are removed and separated for recycling. What is left is the CRT tube made of leaded glass.
Most people don't realize CRT tubes contain 8 to 40 pounds of lead or more. If not properly recycled, they become hazardous to the environment. MRC's R2 certification ensures the proper recycling of these tubes. However, it is an expensive process because of the energy involved.
So how exactly are these tubes processed?
CRT tubes are sent to a certified smelter where the high heat processes separate the lead from glass. What is left is recycled lead that can be reused in new manufacturing.
We have seen firsthand how most electronics are demanufactured or taken apart, but how exactly are they recycled from here?
Once electronics are demanufactured to component level, they can be shipped out for final recycling. Raw steel is sent to be refined and recycled. ABS plastic is baled and sent to be refined and recycled. Raw copper, aluminum, and various grades of wire are sent out in the same manner. Additionally, component materials such as power supplies, electronic boards, internal batteries, motors, toner cartridges, and more are sent to their respective facilities to be recycled. All of these components are 100% recyclable. With that being said, all of MRC's downstream vendors handling this material have been vetted to comply with the R2 standard.
How does MRC address the issues associated with e-waste we discussed earlier?
MRC's National R2 certification requires great transparency. We must prove from cradle to grave how hazardous materials are handled and that they are properly recycled. Only vetted, downstream vendors can be utilized by MRC to ensure hazardous materials don't end up in places like China or Ghana. MRC provides certificates of proper recycling and data destruction after every pickup, and also holds a $1 million pollution insurance policy for added protection. MRC has written procedures and processes in place to ensure any data-containing devices are destroyed. We have 3 methods of data destruction. Hard drives that may have reuse potential are serialized and put through a third-party certified, Department of Defense compliant 7-pass wipe. Hard drives that do not have any reuse potential are serialized and degouged. From that point, they can be destroyed with a hydraulic hole punch or become shredded. MRC also offers mobile hard drive shredding for clients that require on-site destruction. All locations are under 24-hour surveillance for added protection. All employees are trained on daily processes and are required to wear proper protective equipment that satisfies R2 standards and beyond. MRC goes through annual air and sound audits to ensure safety. Additionally, swab testing is done to ensure no surface contamination of toxic material is detected. Spill kits and eye wash stations are readily available if needed. Many companies and organizations do not realize they are liable for what happens to their material after it leaves their premises. Let's say company XYZ gives CRT computer monitors to an uncertified recycler. Then, those computer monitors are found dumped in a ditch or in an abandoned warehouse. Company XYZ is financially responsible for the cleanup, fines, and proper recycling of that mess, not to mention a horrible PR nightmare.
As we can see, MRC, their certifications, and years of industry experience ensure the most critical aspects relating to electronic recycling are addressed. The importance of using a nationally certified electronic recycler is essential in protecting the environment, yourself, and workers both at home and abroad. Make sure to research your recycler, do a site visit, and ask the tough questions. Taking these precautions will assure your electronic material, including your personal information, is handled in a responsible, safe, and environmentally friendly manner. MRC services are most often free of charge. They partner with and donate to nonprofit organizations, municipalities, schools, and more. Green recycling fundraising opportunities are also available. For more information, please contact MRC at 855 MRC Recycle or visit the website midwrc.net.